The Lord said to Moses, "Say to the sons of Israel, when you come into the land you are to inhabit, which I give you, and you offer to the Lord from the herd or from the flock an offering by fire, or a burnt offering, or a sacrifice, to fulfill a vow, or as a freewill offering, or at your appointed feasts, to make a pleasing odor to the Lord, then he who brings his offering shall offer to the Lord a cereal offering of 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour, mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil, and wine for the drink offering, 1/4 of a hin. You shall prepare with the burnt offering, or for the sacrifice for each lamb. Or for a ram you shall prepare for a cereal offering 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour, mixed with 1/3 of a hin of oil. And for the drink offering you shall offer 1/3 of a hin of wine, a pleasing odor to the Lord. And when you prepare a bull for a burnt offering, or for a sacrifice to fulfill a vow, or for peace offerings to the Lord, then you shall offer with the bull a cereal offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour, mixed with 1/2 of a hin of oil, and you shall offer for the drink offering 1/2 a hin of wine, as an offering by fire, a pleasing odor to the Lord. Thus it shall be done for each bull or ram, or for each of the male lambs, or the kids. According to the number that you prepare, so shall you do with every one according to their number. All who are native shall do these things in this way, in offering by fire, a pleasing odor to the Lord. And if a stranger is sojourning with you, or anyone is among you throughout your generations, and he wishes to offer an offering by fire, a pleasing odor to the Lord, he shall do as you do. For the assembly there shall be one statute for you, and for the stranger who sojourns with you, a perpetual statute throughout your generations, as you are. So shall the sojourner be before the Lord. One law and one ordinance shall be for you and for the stranger who sojourns with you. The Lord said to Moses, "Say to the sons of Israel, when you come into the land to which I bring you, and when you eat of the food of the land, you shall present an offering to the Lord. Of the first of your course meal, you shall present a cake as an offering from the threshing floor, so shall you present it. Of the first of your course meal, you shall give to the Lord an offering throughout your generations. But if you err and do not observe all these commandments which the Lord has spoken to Moses, all that the Lord has commanded you by Moses, from the day that the Lord gave commandment, and onward throughout your generations, then if it was done unwittingly, without the knowledge of the congregation, all the congregation shall offer one young bull for a burnt offering, a pleasing odor to the Lord, with its cereal offering and its drink offering, according to the ordinance, and one male goat for a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for all the congregation of the sons of Israel, and they shall be forgiven, because it was an error, and they have brought their offering, an offering by fire to the Lord, and their sin offering before the Lord, for their error. And all the congregation of the sons of Israel shall be forgiven, and the stranger who sojourns among them, because the whole population was involved in the error. If one person sins unwittingly, he shall offer a female goat, a year old, for a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement before the Lord for the person who commits an error, when he sins unwittingly, to make atonement for him, and he shall be forgiven. You shall have one law for him who does anything unwittingly, for him who is native among the sons of Israel, and for the stranger who sojourns among them. But the person who does anything with a high hand, whether he is native or a sojourner, reviles the Lord, and that person shall be cut off from among his people. Because he has despised the word of the Lord, and has broken his commandment, that person shall be utterly cut off. His iniquity shall be upon him. While the sons of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. And those who found him gathering sticks brought him to Moses and Aaron, and to all the congregation. They put him in custody, because it had not been made plain what should be done to him. And the Lord said to Moses, "The man shall be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones outside the camp." And all the congregation brought him outside the camp, and stoned him to death with stones, as the Lord commanded Moses. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the sons of Israel, and bid them to make tassels on the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and to put upon the tassel of each corner a cord of blue. And it shall be to you a tassel to look upon, and remember all the commandments of the Lord, to do them, not to follow after your own heart and your own eyes, which you are inclined to go after wantonly. So you shall remember and do all my commandments, and be holy to your God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, to be your God. I am the Lord your God. Now Korah, the son of Izhar, son of Kohath, son of Levi, and Dathan, and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Moses with a number of the sons of Israel, 250 leaders of the congregation, chosen from the assembly, well-known men. And they assembled themselves together against Moses and Aaron, and said to them, You have gone too far, for all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Why then do you exalt yourselves above the assembly of the Lord? When Moses heard it, he fell on his face, and he said to Korah and all his company, In the morning the Lord will show who is his and who is holy, and will cause him to come near to him. Him whom he will choose he will cause to come near to him. Do this. Take censers, Korah and all his company. Put fire in them, and put incense upon them before the Lord tomorrow, and the man whom the Lord chooses shall be the Holy One. You have gone too far, sons of Levi. And Moses said to Korah, Hear now, you sons of Levi. Is it too small a thing for you that the Lord of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel, to bring you near to himself, to do service in the tabernacle of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister to them, and that he has brought you near him, and all your brethren, the sons of Levi, with you? And would you seek the priesthood also? Therefore it is against the Lord that you and all your company have gathered together. What is Aaron that you murmur against him? And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and they said, We will not come up. Is it a small thing that you have brought us up out of a land flowing with milk and honey, to kill us in the wilderness, that you must also make yourself a prince over us? Moreover, you have not brought us into a land flowing with milk and honey, nor given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Will you put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up. And Moses was very angry, and said to the Lord, Do not respect their offering. I have not taken one donkey from them, and I have not harmed one of them. And Moses said to Korah, Be present, you and all your company, before the Lord, you and they, and Aaron, tomorrow. And let every one of you take his censer, and put incense upon it, and every one of you bring before the Lord his censer, 250 censers, you also, and Aaron, each his censer. So every man took his censer, and they put fire in them, and laid incense upon them. And they stood at the entrance of the tent of meeting with Moses and Aaron. Then Korah assembled all the congregation against them at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and the glory of the Lord appeared to all the congregation. To the choir master, according to Do Not Destroy, a mitkam of David. Do you indeed decree what is right, you gods? Do you judge the sons of men uprightly? No, in your hearts you devise wrongs. Your hands deal out violence on earth. The wicked go astray from the womb. They err from their birth, speaking lies. They have venom like the venom of a serpent, like the deaf adder that stops its ear, so that it does not hear the voice of charmers, or of the cunning enchanter. O God, break the teeth of their mouths. Tear out the fangs of the young lions, O Lord. Let them vanish like water that runs away, like grass. Let them be trodden down and wither. Let them be like the snail which dissolves into slime, like the untimely birth that never sees the sun. Sooner than your pots can feel the heat of thorns, whether green or ablaze, may he sweep them away. The righteous will rejoice when he sees the vengeance. He will bathe his feet in the blood of the wicked. Men will say, Surely there is a reward for the righteous. Surely there is a God who judges on earth. They went on from there and passed through Galilee. And he would not have anyone know it, for he was teaching his disciples, saying to them, The Son of Man will be delivered into the hands of men, and they will kill him, and when he is killed, after 3 days he will rise. But they did not understand the saying, and they were afraid to ask him. And they came to Capernaum, and when he was in the house, he asked them, What were you discussing on the way? But they were silent, for on the way they had discussed with one another who was the greatest. And he sat down and called the 12, and he said to them, If anyone would be first, he must be last of all and servant of all. And he took a child and put him in the midst of them, and taking him in his arms, he said to them, Whoever receives one such child in my name receives me, and whoever receives me receives not me, but him who sent me. John said to him, Teacher, we saw a man casting out demons in your name, and we forbade him because he was not following us. But Jesus said, Do not forbid him, for no one who does a mighty work in my name will be able soon after to speak evil of me. For he that is not against us is for us. For truly I say to you, whoever gives you a cup of water to drink, because you bear the name of Christ, will by no means lose his reward. Whoever causes one of these little ones, who believe in me, to sin, it would be better for him if a great millstone were hung round his neck, and he were thrown into the sea. And if your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. It is better for you to enter life maimed, than with 2 hands to go to hell, to the unquenchable fire. And if your foot causes you to sin, cut it off. It is better for you to enter life lame, than with 2 feet to be thrown into hell. And if your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out. It is better for you to enter the kingdom of God with 1 eye, than with 2 eyes to be thrown into hell, where their worm does not die, and the fire is not quenched. For every one will be salted with fire. Salt is good, but if the salt has lost its saltiness, how will you season it? Have salt in yourselves, and be at peace with one another. How many times have you been told to follow your heart? Today in Numbers, the Israelites are told to put tassels on the corners of their garments to remind them not to follow their own heart and their own eyes, but rather to remember God's commandments. Unfortunately, our hearts are all too prone to go astray from the womb, chasing after our often disordered desires and refusing to listen to truth, like the deaf adder that stops its ear. What an image! The end of this road is death. The capital punishment we see in Numbers, chapter 15, verses 35 through 36, seems harsh, to be sure. But Jesus is equally serious about sin in today's gospel, warning about something far worse, spiritual death. It's true that he's being hyperbolic. We aren't literally to self-amputate. But Jesus uses shocking language to communicate an important point, and we shouldn't let that point get dulled. Spiritual health is more important than bodily health. Sin is worse for us than the most grievous bodily injury. For sin weakens, or, if it's mortal, destroys the communion with God that we were made for. Are there sins we just shrug off? What steps can you take today to remember and do God's word, to be set apart for Him?